For AMC, guys, well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. For AMC, this is the price that I'm most concerned about for apes. I think they should open it at that price, and that's $199 current day. For one, who says we needed a reverse split and all that if there was no scam-vid-19? For two, look at this. Major brokerages restricted purchase on January 28th. AMC opened at 61.85, split adjusted, and peaked near 2036 on January 7th, and they hit a volatile high of $19.90 at market open on January 28th before plunging as restrictions took effect. This is our justice number. We're trading at 25 cents. We need to hit 19.90. They've tried to make us believe that we're trading at $2.55 and that we're not going to $190. So, and you know the games they've played. Let me show you some of the games they've played to make you try it. Just let me remind you. See, this is 2036 was the high and 1990 was where they halted, right? So let's go look at the games they played. Well, this says, see up here, this says 110. That'd be $11 was the high. No, they just said 2036 was the high, right? So they've changed this. They've lowered this from $20 or from 200 to 100. They've changed this high on you. And then the ultimate high was 726, and they've lowered this about in half too. They say it's 393 now. And let me show you what I mean. I have an honest broker, and I have an honest program. See, 2036 was the high. Now it's 203.60. And then 726 was the high here. But the halt that they're speaking of, I believe the first buy button restriction was at around up here somewhere. 19, right in here somewhere. That's why your chart does not reflect this correctly. It was 1990. Right at the open, pretty much of the day, it looked like they removed the buy button or whatever. Then the stock ended up plummeting all the way from $200 or $20 down to 64. So after they removed the buy button here, boom, the restrictions, right? That's the day they're talking about, right? January 26, 27, 28. So our goal is to hit this around this 203 area, 1990 to, or 199 to 203, because that's justice. How can you just, and now they've changed this to 110, just to mess with you. And this is 726, now they've changed that to 392 or whatever, just to mess with you, right? See? 392 over here, and 110. 726 and 203. This is our justice zone. We need justice. Let's go look at this chart a little bit, just out of curiosity, since I have it up. Look at the indicators on this. Look at it right under the center line. It's coiled up. It's just ready to pop. And it's at the low, this thing's been coiling. This is my indicator, right? The OBV is at a high. It's just been flatlining this whole time. And it's at this 539 million. It's positive, right? So let's look at the history here. Look what happened in 2021 when we ran. We're not even, you can't even see my indicator. It hasn't even moved up. In 2021, this thing bursted, and then on the second leg, it went insane. And you can't even see. Look at the comparison. Like, we have not run, guys. Look at this thing's buried. You can't even see it. I'll show you on it. See? It hasn't even come off the line. Let's look at the reading, guys. And that shows you so you know better what I'm talking. See how this says, this reading on a little rally went up to 1.8 1.29 on the reading. And this rally, a little bitty rally, went up to 1.22. Let's go back. This went up to 400. This went up to 177 and 400. This went to 1.28, not 477 or 100. When this thing breaks these three highs and goes straight up, that's when our rally has started. And it looks ready. It just has to, like a gap up. If we gapped up to something like 235 something in price, this thing would probably be blowing out, going up. And we could go to those numbers, right? So yeah, look at it. If we got to 400 on this, you could just see. Let me show you where 400 is. Can I even go to 400? Yeah. I put a line here on some of them. So 400, this would go all the way up to 400, which means the price would probably go up to like 200 or 400 or something too. So that's reality. That's that's a reality check for you. And yeah, the charts, like let's go back one more time to what I drew. I fixed some of my stuff on this chart because I said, why in the heck am I, look at this. I told you I'd remove that and show you kind of put this back on like a weekly. And fix my trajectories and kind of things. I want to never look at this chart again. Hopefully after next week or so. I want to be done. So I fixed all my trajectories to fit the weekly, and I put my channel right under where we fell in this channel. And then right here, where we break back into this channel around 298, is what it looks like. I lined all this up. So we break 298, we should just move. I put the top of the channel up here where all my trajectories matched, and everything looks glorious. We just need to break that 298 and go to the top of the channel. Middle of the channel, guys, by the way, is 2332. Right after that zone, it's probably just fire. You probably close here and like open up at something crazy the next day if you do that. So you think that's justice, guys? And look what that's backtesting. It's just backtesting this where we fell in this channel, because we never backtested this breakdown, guys. So we could have just came here instead of getting shorted out and snuffed out in 2024. All you simply had to do is go to 15 or 16 bucks and backtest this, and then you would have been done. You probably wouldn't have rallied. If you would have backtested just a dollar or two more and had a fair rally that didn't just get stuffed, and this was a whole manipulation in itself. It was pant water, and I went over that. It wasn't kitty. It was pant water. They did a bond for share swap with AMC. It was all pre-planned. They ran up the stock price, and then they sold and they converted all their bonds or whatever. It was just a planned thing. Roaring Kitty was hired as a distraction, and Pentwater did this and stole our money. And I'm sure AA was involved, and he knew what was going on. So they ran up the price. They were given some converts or whatever. They made some deal with AA, and they ran it up and dumped up and converted all their stuff or whatever. So anyway, this here never got backtested, just missed it by a couple bucks. Now, we still have to backtest that zone. You can't break into a channel and not backtest top channel. So now, look where the backtest lies, at 192. So that was the best number overall, because I've been working on this. I'm so sick of looking at this chart, and I said, let me just do my trajectory of the first channel where we went up. Let me do the trajectory of the last failure where we went up. Let me do the trajectory of where we see how all these kind of candles, this rejection here, boom, and then you hit all-time lows. So this was a rejection here to all-time lows. This here was a rejection, you hit all-time lows, but then you had a fake rally. This rejection was also all-time lows, and that's this major line. So all these lines converge at 192.05. Which is right here. in this zone where they screwed us. So there you go.